Welcome to CUTV News, where we celebrate and showcase some of the most amazing people around the world. I'm your host, Jim Masters. Today, I have the great honor and pleasure of speaking with noted author Roxanne Bland. Roxanne describes herself as a fugitive from reality since forever. She grew up in Washington, D.C., where she discovered strange and wonderful new worlds through her local public library and bookstores. These and other life experiences have convinced her that reality is highly overrated. Her story is one of resilience and determination as well, as she attended law school, delved into the workforce, and even faced illness, yet she never stopped writing. Roxanne's specialty is fiction, and she's the author of The Underground, her first published book, and The Moreva of Astereth. She says she likes to meld fantasy, science fiction, horror, romance, and erotica into her stories. Roxanne Bland is my guest today on CUTV News. Now, you also have Black Rose Press, which is your publishing company and your publishing arm. Was Black Rose Press created for The Underground initially? The first book?
No. Black Rose Press was created as a vehicle for publishing science fiction, fantasy, horror, and weird slash bizarro by people of color. The Underground, The Moreva of Astereth, and the book after Moreva, they're experiments. I'm the guinea pig. You know,
Right.
I'm learning the publishing industry through publishing my own books.
Which is a whole other
Other ball game.
Right, huh? This is not something you're going to want to put down, that's for sure.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Actually, the inspiration for this book, you could say, started 35 years ago. 35 years ago.
Did it really?
Yes. A friend and I in college, now see, I'm really dating myself. A friend and I in college collaborated on this story. Just something to do. And we collaborated on this story, and it was about, I don't remember the details. I mean, that was too long ago. But I never forgot the basic storyline, which is a woman, the daughter of a king, is exiled because she will not marry the man her father has picked out for her. So she wanders around the kingdom. No village will take her in. Finally, she turns north. After many adventures, she turns north. And at seemingly the end of the world, she finds a village that will finally take her in. The village chieftain is immediately enamored of her, but doesn't want his villagers to know because she's a stranger. The woman genuinely dislikes the chieftain. And after a period of being at each other's throats, she falls in love with him, and he confesses his feelings for her, and they marry. Meanwhile, Daddy is feeling remorseful that he exiled his daughter, so he goes looking for her, gathers his army and goes looking for her.
Right.
Can't find her. So finally, deducing that she has turned north, he takes his army and goes that way too. Well, they find the village. He demands that she come back with him, and she says, no, I'm married now and I'm happy. And the father threatens war, and the chieftain accepts. And the woman and the chieftain are killed in the fighting. Not a very happy ending, is it? Well, years later, I read Zecharia Sitchin's Earth Chronicles works. Are you familiar with Zecharia Sitchin? Okay.
Yeah.
I read his works, and you know, he has his loyal adherents and his scholarly detractors.
Absolutely.
But you know what? You cannot deny it is an incredible story. Just an incredible tale. So anyway, you know, again, years pass, and then I'm sitting there kind of stuck on a story. Not stuck in the sense that I don't know what's going to happen next. I know what's going to happen next. It's a question of how to write it. And, so I sat back and I was thinking and thinking and thinking, and I let my mind wander. I was like, oh, forget this. Just leave it alone for a while. And I thought about my friend and the story we wrote, and I thought about Zecharia Sitchin. And then I said, what if I could meld the two stories in some way? That would be so cool.
Melding is something you really enjoy. Even when you meld the different genres together,
Yeah.
you really love weaving in and out of.
Yes, I
don't
do.
You?
And so the end result was the Moreva Asterisk. It's a melding of Zecharia Sitchin and this story that my friend and I concocted in college.
There's really nothing like this out there right now. What do you hope is the takeaway?
I truly hope that this book will help readers to understand that bigotry is a soul-crushing affliction, and that what they need to do is to face that bigotry, face themselves, and find out why that bigotry exists, and then do what they can, do what they need to do to overcome it. Now, what you need to do might be different things.
Right.
But they need to find out what they need to do to overcome it, because otherwise it'll crush them, it'll destroy them.
A lot of times when you do work, it encourages others who are starting out themselves. Mm-hmm. And what words of encouragement could you bestow right now to maybe a writer who wants to write, or somebody who wants to really get into this line of activity, but who doesn't know how to really start and to do it and keep at it?
Well, first of all, what you need to do is sit down and start writing. Just write.
That's a great way to...
That's right. That doesn't matter what you write, just write. It also doesn't matter if it's garbage, because that's called the first draft. But write as often as you can. The common wisdom is that it has to be every day, but I don't know. I know very few people who have the time to write every day. So write as often as you can, and just keep writing, and read. You must read. Read the authors you like to read. Read outside your genre, that you like. Just read, because invariably you will find writers, whether they're in or without your genre, whose turns of phrases appeal to you. And then you can take that stylistic way of doing things, you can take that style and add it to your own. That's what I do. When I read, here's a perfect example. Stephen King wrote The Green Mile. There was a scene in there where the hero and his wife were involved in a terrible bus accident. The hero's wife dies, and her blood ran away red into the night. That's beautiful. That's just gorgeous. That's what I strive to do.
That's what you're striving to do.
And that's why, but you have to read, because otherwise I never would have discovered it.
You're inspired by others as well, which is incredible, and you're inspiring others.
Oh, I hope so.
Roxanne Bland, it was a real pleasure to have you with us.
And it's been a
CUTV
pleasure to
News.
be here.
Give us that website again.
RoxanneBland.rocks.
RoxanneBland.rocks. And your blog is roxannebland.com.
Correct.
And of course, your books are available at Amazon.com as well.
Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and Smashwords.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for sharing this wonderful book with us. We wish you continued success, and thanks for being on CUTV News.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Jim Masters, CUTV News.